How dare you not bring Augusto?
I know, right?
This small?
Yeah.
What drunks do I have in my movie? I have drunk people in my movie?
Did I watch the wrong movie? Wow.
We're rolling.
That's awesome. Okay, let's go. Hi, James. So
Hi.
nice to talk to you.
You too.
Please tell me, have you found any monkeys here in Brazil yet?
I did.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really so surprised.
I don't think it's that easy.
It was pretty easy.
Oh my God.
It was
amazing.
at the, what's it? The Botanical Garden?
Yes.
Okay, so yesterday we went to the Botanical Gardens and we walked up and there was literally 40 capuchin monkeys.
Okay.
And I just sat there and then they were all around me, just doing little babies playing and then, you know, babies riding on the mom's back. And oh my God, it was the greatest day of my
So
life.
happy to know that. Okay, now let's talk about Superman.
Okay.
You've done so much in the superhero world so far. And why did you choose to start this new chapter of your life with Superman? Why him?
You know, I think that, you know, DC needed to have a linchpin character, the first character to kick it off.
Yes.
And there's just no way that could be anybody but Superman. He's the first superhero. He's one of the most famous superheroes in the world. He's one of the 3 most famous superheroes. And so I thought that there's just had to be the case.
Awesome. Lois and Clark relationship is beautiful because they complement each other.
You look lovely.
You look lovely. Always.
Lois' skepticism meets Clark's innocence and it just works. How did you manage to create that in the scenes?
Well, I was kind of an idiot and Rachel was kind of brilliant. And it
Ran
just,
laps around David
Yeah.
and it just worked. No, I feel like, I mean, James obviously had such a hand in casting us and putting us together, and I think even...
He did have a little something to
Yeah,
do
he
with
had a little
that.
something to do with it. But he, you know, he obviously saw something in us that he thought would complement
Yes.
each other and complement these characters.
You know what he said when he told me that you were cast, when he was calling me to give me the part, and he told me that he was going to call you next.
You thought it was a prank, right?
Oh, I did, you briefly. But he said, you guys are such different actors.
Yeah.
Or different kinds of actors. And I didn't get that sense particularly, but it was
we
so
only read together
interesting.
once.
Well, yeah. But then, and we're so similar in so many ways in the way we like to ask questions and the patience that we have for those conversations and for each other. I think of you as having a lot of patience for me and my
I think
process.
we are really similar.
And so it's so interesting that he saw this complementary, this like non-overlapping thing that could bring tension and fire.
But not unlike them. I think we are sometimes really different in approaching the same goal. I mean, I remember that conversation we had about where power lies, like in fighting or silence.
Right, yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it felt so, these characters coded, we were like, somebody should just be shooting this right now.
It's like you balance each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
We've had so much fun.
Yeah.
This film has everything. It has flying scenes, combats, real sets, practical effects, actual robots, and I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, yeah.
What was the biggest challenge for you as a director?
I think I had so many challenges on this movie. This was the hardest movie by far I've ever had to make.
Tell me about expectations, right?
But it was also the fact that he's such a pure character, and I've always written characters usually who are very edgy, and then little by little we whittle away and we see what's good about them.
Yes.
And then very little good can make them good because it's so different from where they came from. And this character was not that. That structure was out the window because this was a character who is very, very good to begin with, very pure, very open with his emotions, learns some things about himself that he didn't expect, and then needs to reorient the way he thinks about himself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is a story about Superman's thinking about himself and how he goes about that, but within a spectacle film. And so there's something that felt more naked about that, character, more exposed, more vulnerable with me as a filmmaker.
Yeah, it felt really nice to see him closer to a human being.
Yeah.
Because he's almost immaculate. He's perfect.
Yeah.
And he's in pain. He's lonely in this movie.
He's lonely. Yeah. He's definitely lonely. I think, I wanted to really, say if Superman was real, what would his life be like?
Yeah.
What would he be? He's got no choice but to rely on other human beings for his camaraderie. So he's got to forge these relationships. And I wanted to see like Superman and Lois, in some of the movies, he's so like a god and she's like goo-gaw over him. And I think I wanted to create a relationship where we saw why Superman was in love with Lois.
Yes.
And I think in that interview scene, we see he's on the back foot. I mean, he isn't as good at talking as she is. And she's better. And she's just at him. Boom,
Yes,
boom, boom,
that's
boom, boom.
amazing.
And it's like, oh, yeah, that's, at the same time he hates it, but I think that's also what he loves about her.
Yes.
She can think him in circles.
So, Rachel, I absolutely loved your Lois. She's
you.
fierce, she's sharp, she's rational. And I would like to know how it was to play such a strong character in a universe that's been so male-driven for so long.
We've been talking about this, that even if you've never opened a comic book or never seen any of these movies, you know what that Superman S means. And I think Lois Lane is actually the same way in public consciousness. We all know that she's an intrepid journalist. She's one of the only women in these universes.
Yes.
And so I've known about her from a distance for a really long time. And it was really exciting, obviously, to step into a role like this. I grew up on the Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder Superman movies. I loved her portrayal. I loved the way she balanced the humor, being absolutely gaga for him, but also brilliant at work. I just thought she was amazing. And
I love
loved it.
how she's like a real-world superhero.
Totally. She is. She's an everyday superhero. Yeah. They are super in their own professions and in their own ways. And by that same token, they also complete each other because they have the thing the other person doesn't. I think they bring out each other's humanity. She's somebody who prides herself, and it makes her great at her job, on being 10 steps ahead of everybody else. He's somebody who's radically present. Yes. She's somebody who could learn to be a little bit more present and honest with herself and her feelings. And he's someone who could occasionally think a couple steps ahead before he acts. But it's fun to watch characters like this love hard, play hard, and work hard.
So let's talk about the boldest move in this film. The trunks come back. They were always there from the visual since the beginning.
Wait,
during
the who comes back?
the trunks.
Drunks? Oh,
Trunks.
the trunks!
The trunks
I said
back.
the drunks? What drunks do I have in my movie? I have drunk people in my movie?
Did I watch the wrong movie?
The trunks, yeah.
Yeah.
That was real simple. I mean, I was open to anything. We did hundreds and hundreds of designs of the suit. I really wanted to have the trunks.
Yeah.
I'm a trunks guy. I grew up on Superman with trunks. He was based on old wrestlers and circus performers, so it makes sense that he would have the trunks.
I actually feel safer with him in the trunks.
In the trunks, and I wanted to put them in there, but I couldn't find the right design, and I really thought he was not going to have trunks, and I told Juliana Makovsky, who's our costume designer,
Yes.
make an outfit with trunks and make one without trunks, and so she made both, and David put on both, and I was like, I don't know why he would wear trunks. I like, because I really do want it to come from a place where it makes sense. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm going to go without trunks. I'm like, David, what do you think? And he goes, I like the trunks.
And it worked.
And it was like, because he thought of it as being, how he would have kids not be afraid of him.
Yeah.
And it made sense.
Now we need to discuss a serious matter.
Oh gosh.
This is my dog, Augusto.
Augusto! How small is Augusto?
He's like 4 pounds.
Like this small?
Yeah.
How dare you not bring Augusto?
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he will get along with Krypto?
I think Krypto might eat him. Not on purpose.
Yeah.
You know those dogs that are so lovely and awesome, and then they'll eat a squirrel?
They don't know how big they are.
I think Krypto might just not know whether Augusto was a dog or a squirrel.
Yeah, okay. But with superpowers, I think he would be great competition, okay?
What would Augusto's
I feel like
superpower be?
he'd be the Robin to Krypto's Batman.
He's super cute, and that's okay. Krypto will get in here.
That's nice.
And then they're friends forever.
Super cute is a very funny superpower.
It would be very useful, right?
It would. Just
Okay.
charm the pants off of everyone.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time. It was a
Thank
pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
guys.
Thank you very much.
How's Brazil so far?
It's amazing.
Oh, it's been
I mean, this
incredible.
view.
Yeah, I know, right? The press conference was like a dream.
Okay, here, come take a picture.